Welcome back to Detective McCoy in Vampires in Lingerie. Last time, Detective McCoy and Lucy's investigation into the missing stripper Vinny led them to a gruesome crime scene where multiple members of the mob and some cops had been torn apart by some beast. After following some blood from the crime scene out of the building and into the woods, they found an abandoned building with a mysteriously untouched 20-year-old hamburger. But before they could investigate the mysterious burger, they were assailed by Vinny, who has been turned into a vampire. Lucy tries to fight Vinny, but McCoy greets her instead, so Vinny flees instead of fighting them. McCoy and Lucy then recover papers from the crime scene that belong to the murdered professor. They then take these papers to the local university where the papers come from and learn that the papers are about an ancient artifact called the Vampire Medallion, a magical relic said to control vampires. The librarian also informs them that several strip club owners in the city have been murdered over the last few months. With mounting suspicion against Tony, the employer of Vinny, McCoy and Lucy head off to confront their old friend. A battered little car, dwarfed by the cyclopean metropolis around it, flies valiantly down shadowy city streets as sheets of rain batter it in an endless assault. Cigarette smoke rises from every window and alleyway. A shadow hangs over the city, and within this humble car sits the Crusaders locked in a losing battle against it. "And you promise you can drive while I do first aid on you?" Lucy asks, wiping a cut on McCoy's chest with a cleaning wipe. "Doll, I could shoot a pissant off a dick from 1,000 bards while diving discark," McCoy slurs. Are you having a strunk? "So you guys really think Tony's behind it all?" Jerome, part-time Victorian paperboy, asks. "He's at least behind some of it. I intend to find out how far his involvement goes. But the more involved he is, the more dangerous this meeting will be. There's a good chance one or more of us won't make it out of this. Do you want to come inside with us?" "Bruh, fuck no. I ain't dealing with no vampires, no ghosts, no goblins, no skeletons, no nothing." Lucy finishes applying bandages to McCoy. "There we go. Jerome, have you gleaned anything else from those papers?" "It basically says that the Vampire Medallion gives anyone who wields it control of vampires." "Yeah, that old crone might have been talking out her ass when she said only wizards and vampires can use it. Hey, you motherfuckers are lucky I can read German." "Wait, so we can use it?" "Yeah, that sounds like a super useful thing to own. You think you want the medallion for yourselves? Who knows, if there are vampire problems in the city ever again, that thing would be perfect to have around." "Let's just say I've got plans for that medallion." McCoy does a handbrake turn and comes skidding to a halt while doing a perfect parallel park just outside of Tony's Dancing Gals. "Tiny Tim." "Jerome, if we don't come back in 15 minutes, call the cops." "Got it, boss." McCoy and Lucy step out into the rain and double-check their guns. McCoy lights a cigarette and the two step inside. As they enter Tony's Dancing Gals, most of the lights are out, but one or two neon pink lights cast McCoy and Lucy in a reddish glow. "Who's there?" a voice calls from the back office. "Hey, we're closed. Scram." "Tony, it's me and Doll. We're here to talk to you about your missing gal." "Oh, okay. Yeah, come on in." "Boss?" "I know." "Boss, Tony's elite goth girls are standing in the shadows watching us." "I know. Come on." McCoy and Lucy walk forward, McCoy with a confident stride, with Lucy waddling awkwardly close behind. From the shadows around them, just outside the reach of the pink stage lights, the faces of 5 women in gothic lingerie turn their heads to watch the detective and his brave secretary approach the office. "Ah, detective. And your fine little lady, too. Please, have a seat." Lucy stands next to the door, arms folded. McCoy takes a seat and puts his feet up on Tony's desk. Tony raises an eyebrow at the rude gesture. "We found Vinny." "Ah, good. I was worried sick about her. It's, real unlike any of my gals to not return when I send them out on a job. So, how is she? I think we better talk about her client first. The good professor's been murdered. Oh. That's horrible. Crying shame. Being burgled is one thing, but murdered too? Poor old man. I never said he was burgled. Whatever gave you that impression? Tony smirks and shrugs. The only crime that happens more than murder in this city is burglary. And the Venn diagram of the two is damn near a circle. Vinny is a vampire now. What the fuck? McCoy, really, you gotta lay off the literal sauce you drink. I'm dead serious. Saw her with my own eyes, Tone. And it's got me thinking. Vinny wasn't a vampire before she was working here, but now she is. What would you happen to know about that? Look, I don't even check my girls for diseases or nothing. What makes you think I delve into whether or not they're a vampire before they work? Besides, what makes you so sure she was a vampire? She probably just looked real pale or something. She reacted poorly to garlic. Ha! That's an urban myth. Real vampires aren't allergic to no garlic. Well, I made the garlic thing up. But you seem real confident about what things are and aren't true about vampires for a former pizza guy, Tone. Tony falls silent and stares ominously. So, Vinny is sent by you to this guy's place. There's a robbery, and the guy ends up dead that very night. Sounds like Vinny's a prime suspect. Not that I'm a detective or nothing. But you're the one who sent her there. Tony shrugs. McCoy puffs on a cigarette. Tony, let me see your teeth. My teeth? Seriously, Zuck? You think I'm a fucking vampire? Why don't you check your secretary's panty drawer for a witch's hat while you're at it? Let me see your teeth, Tony. Or maybe I'll hire one of your elite gals so I can take a look at theirs. Tony leans back in his seat and picks up the glass of whiskey he'd been drinking. He chuckles and takes a sip. You really want to see my fucking teeth, Zuck? I really fucking do, Tone. Sure, buddy. I'll show you my fucking teeth. Tony's jaw distends, revealing two massive extending fangs. He leaps across the table at McCoy, but McCoy kicks the desk and causes his chair to be thrown backwards. He blocks Tony with his legs and rolls back with his chair, throwing Tony into the opposite wall. Lucy draws her pistol and takes aim at Tony. Lucy fires 2 shots at Tony, one hitting him in the chest and the other hitting him in the neck. Tony lets out a gurgling screech before climbing up the wall and onto the ceiling with proportional roach-like speed and lunging down at Lucy. As Tony's wounds quickly begin to close, he digs both of his claws into Lucy's shoulders. She cries out in pain as Tony pins her to the floor. But even as her grip wavers, she manages to keep hold of her gun. Still on the floor, McCoy takes advantage of Tony's hunched-over position, rolling over and pointing his magnum revolver a few inches away from the stooping Tony's forehead. Tony is thrown violently from Lucy's body as a big hole is blown in his head. As if riding the force of the bullet, Tony throws himself in the direction the shot went in unison with it, crashing through his office door and into the main room of the establishment. You okay, doll? Let's just get the bastard before he gets away. McCoy and Lucy step out into the lounge, still illuminated by pink light. They stop as they see one of Tony's elite gals step in front of the front door, and another block the way into the office. Another blocks the way into the back door, and the remaining 2 circle McCoy and Lucy. Tony's voice echoes out of the surrounding darkness. I have to admit when I'm got, you know. Truth is, I was sick of being the friendly neighborhood pizza guy. All those years beating dough, and what did I get? Community spirit? Decent living? Tch, who needs that shit? Last October, when I took that vacation to Transylvania, I learned all about vampires at the Museum of Antiquity, and that's when I realized my true calling. You have no idea the terrible things I did to become a vampire, Zuck. But it was all worth it when I knew about the vampire medallion. In the past, I had to use blackmail or extortion to hold even a smidge of control over the bitches in my life. But not anymore. Ain't nothing stopping me now. I've already been having my elite gals murder all of my competition. I'll start a strip club empire with an army of vampire strippers who will work for me for free. The runway leading to the main dancing pole lights up in bright pink, with Tony standing amidst the curtain at the back. Tony walks up with a confident strut. "You're a friend, so I'll kill you myself, McCoy. As for your broad, I think she'll look great in lingerie, don't you?" Lucy and McCoy take aim in unison and fire their pistols. Tony leaps up, dodging their bullets and clinging to the ceiling. Tony pounces at McCoy with his claws out. McCoy tries to dodge, but Tony whizzes past him while dragging his claws across McCoy's chest, leaving a deep gash. McCoy and Lucy spin around to face Tony and fire their pistols at him again. Lucy fires her gun twice, one shot missing and the other hitting Tony in the shoulder. McCoy fires once, his powerful pistol blasting a hole in Tony's chest and forcing the superhumanly strong man back a step. Undeterred, the undead brute lunges at McCoy, but McCoy slyly dodges and trips Tony, sending the monster stumbling with its own superhuman speed and crashing face first into the base of the runway. Lucy and McCoy fire their guns again. Lucy fires once, and the shot is sound, but Tony moves his head out of the way at the last second. McCoy fires a shot from his magnum at Tony, but Tony leaps up onto the ceiling to avoid the hit. However, as Tony bounces off of the ceiling to pounce down at McCoy, McCoy fires a second shot, hitting Tony in the clavicle. The vampire is knocked out of midair and spirals to the ground. McCoy steps towards the grounded vampire to press his revolver against the back of the creature's head, but when he pulls the trigger, there's only a click. Fuck! Tony suddenly stands up and slams his elbow into McCoy's chest hard. McCoy is thrown backward, crashing through some lounge tables. McCoy winces in an unpleasant recognition that one of his ribs has been broken, though the pain hasn't caught up to him yet. Lucy points her pistol at Tony and pulls the trigger, but her gun merely clicks as well. She frantically tries to reload her gun as Tony turns to face her. McCoy, on the floor, begins loading bullets into his gun with shaking hands. Tony walks towards Lucy slowly and with determination as she fumbles with her gun, dropping the empty magazine on the ground while hastily loading another. Just as Tony takes a big step forward to attack, her quivering hands become steady, and she loads the new magazine before firing a round into Tony. The bullet rips through Tony's chest, but the demon leaps forward and slashes Lucy down one arm with his claw. Lucy stumbles back, falling down to one knee. McCoy tries to reload faster, but his hands are trembling too much. Tony stands over Lucy, sneering at her. "I have plans for you, but to make you behave until then, I'll be taking that leg of yours. Don't worry, it'll reattach once I convert you." Tony raises his claw and takes a swing at Lucy, but at the last moment the skylight shatters. Vinny comes down from above, shrieking in rage, and digs her claws into Tony's back. Vinny then swings her arms around and throws Tony, rolling him across the runway and crashing through tables on the other side. Vinny leaps over the runway and swings her claws at Tony, cutting through his shirt and down his chest. "Crazy bitch. I thought it was weird you resisted the medallion before, but I didn't think you would break free entirely." Vinny lunges at Tony with her claws, but overreaches, allowing Tony to slash her across the face with his claws. Vinny retreats back, narrowly avoiding another attack from Tony. Blood runs down her face, but the wounds quickly close. "Maybe you won't resist my medallion if I turn your girlfriend into a vampire too. You and her can work for me together. Wouldn't that be fun?" Vinny lets out another scream of fury and swings her claws at Tony rapidly. She swings her claws 6 times in a blind rage, 3 of her attacks missing. Tony dodges one of her attacks, but the remaining 2 swings strike true, cutting a chunk out of his head and neck. Tony falls to the floor and tries to crawl backwards away from her, but Vinny gives chase. She swings her claws at Tony another 5 times, and though he dodges some by moving back, he's slashed multiple times, losing some fingers and receiving deep gashes across his chest that go to the bone. Vinny raises her arm high above her head to give a finishing blow, but just as she swings her claws one last time at Tony's neck, Tony reaches into his coat pocket with his remaining good hand and pulls out a medallion made of a weird greenish metal with odd runes and engravings carved into it. Vinny's arm stops, but she doesn't lower it. She groans and grunts and tries to follow through, but can't. Tony stares intently at Vinny, pushing the medallion closer and gripping it tighter, until finally she lowers her arm, tears running down her face. "I hope you're all proud of yourselves, making a fucking mess of my fine establishment, forcing me to rough up some gals." Tony stands up, his wounds quickly closing. "McCoy, I'm disappointed in you. Having women do the fighting for you? I'm not giving you the honor of dying by my hand anymore. Gals, your master commands you to rip the detective apart limb from limb. Spare his bitch, though. She'll be joining you shortly. Tony holds his medallion on high, causing it to shimmer with a sickly green light. Vinny and the other 5 vampiric women begin approaching the wounded McCoy. McCoy grimaces. I'm the one who's disappointed, Tone, McCoy says, working his way back to his knees. There ain't nothing I hate more in this world than someone controlling someone else. I was hoping you became a vampire by accident and I could save you. But you tell me you chose to become this? I'm out of mercy, Tone. You? Out of mercy from me? You ain't the one who has the power to be merciful here, old friend. Oh, but I am, and I have none to give, old friend. And now, justice will be wrought upon you. How are you going to wreak horrible justice upon me when you're bleeding out over there? Oh, it's not my place to wreak justice upon you. There are far more fitting candidates right here. Goodbye, Tone. McCoy raises his magnum revolver and fires. The gunshot pierces through the night as the powerful, high-caliber bullet rockets across the room at imperceptible speeds, ripping its way right through the vampire medallion and through Tony's hand. The medallion instantly stops glowing and crumbles into pieces as Tony clutches his bleeding hand. Almost instantly, Vinny and the other vampire women stop approaching McCoy, and after a moment's pause, they all turn to Tony. If possible, the undead Tony goes even more pale. Now, wait a minute, ladies. Let's not be rash. What about due process, eh? Look, I messed up, sure. Why don't I just turn myself in, and you ladies can watch me rot in prison, eh? Sound good? Vinny approaches Tony and places a gentle hand on his shoulder. She smiles softly at him, causing Tony to awkwardly smile back. Vinny then punches Tony through the chest, his still-beating heart in her hand. Tony screams as Vinny drags him to the floor and the other vampire women leap on top of him. Claws fly, slashing and piercing as Tony lets out shrill screams. An arm goes flying, and then a leg, and then the rest of Tony's limbs. Finally, Tony's head is raised on high, held by Vinny and another mistress, and together they rip the head in two and throw it on the floor. The group of vampires continue ripping and tearing at Tony's body until nothing identifiably human remains. Justice served. Lucy vomits on McCoy's shoes as he lights up another cigarette. We almost had a cool moment there, doll. You could have kept it together for like a few more seconds until the camera cut away, doll. You didn't need to throw up on my shoes right after I gave the fucking catchphrase. And you're still vomiting. It's just somebody being liquefied, doll. Come on.